Hey guys, I'm a Forester here, and I'm going to make two videos today. I just uploaded one on community coffee, but I've had a topic in mind that I thought would make an interesting video, and you'll be the judge of that. But the topic of this video is, what is my most asked question? Now I'm going to give you a second to think about that. What do you think I'm a Forester, would be asked more than anything? Take a good look at me. Well, my most asked question is, when are you going to retire? And I don't know why people would think to ask me that, but that is a question that I get asked possibly, I'll say 4 or 5 times a week. Maybe not quite that much, but it seems like 4 or 5 times a week. Now, what would be your reaction if you were asked that? I think there's two basic reactions. One, some people get mad when they're asked that over and over again, depending on who asked it. And I don't think she would mind, but my wife got very irritated when she got to the point of being able to retire and people kept asking her that question. In some cases, and probably in most cases, it was people who knew somebody or one of their relatives or their child wanted her job and were trying to push her out, or at least that's how she felt about it. I don't feel that way. I mean, I feel like I'm enjoying my job, and when people ask, I understand. They might have motivations for asking, but I tend to have fun with it. And I answer truthfully every time I answer, but my answers may be different from time to time. But I was going to make this a topic because I'm thinking about making this into a series of videos about retirement. You know, my YouTube channel has been involved with what I'm interested in at the time. And so this is what I'm interested in. I think about it a lot. Someone recently asked me, do you ever think about retirement? And I said, yeah, all the time. So it's on my mind. I'm thinking about it, so why not make some videos about it? When I first got into guns, I was learning because I was into rifles and shotguns, but not handguns necessarily. So back, 10 years ago or so, when I first started getting interested in handguns, I thought, well, I'm learning, might as well, there's a lot of other people out there that are probably just like me, might as well put these videos online and help other people out who are researching too. And I was watching their videos also. So, some of you are in the same situation I am, and I'm looking down here. I'd made some notes on things I wanted to say. But some of you are in the same situation that I am. I want you to share your thoughts if you would, because it'll help me. Some of you have already retired. And you can share how you made a decision on how to retire. And some of you are so far from retirement it doesn't really matter, but you might get something out of this also. And I was thinking I came up with 5 main reasons or 5 main factors that people take into account when they're going to retire. Probably the most important one is years of service. Do you have years of service? Can you retire, basically? In my case, I'm already retired, so to speak, because I worked for one company, Boise Cascade Corporation, for 10 years. And because of the situations at the time, I was allowed to retire at age 55. So for 8 or 9 years, I've been retired from Boise Cascade Corporation and drawing a small check that actually I use for this YouTube channel to help fund it. I also have over 30 years of service in with my current employer, and so I'm able to retire at any time. I could retire any time I want. But the second factor is health. Some people have to retire because of poor health, or poor health of somebody in their family that they need to take care of. And that is a key consideration. Personally, my own health, I've been telling my doctor I feel better than I felt in 20 years. I'm in better health than I've been in 20 years. And I actually am, because I've lost a good bit of weight. I do a lot of exercising now, and I've been able to keep that weight off. I found that keeps my doctor quiet as far as recommending any test or whatnot when I say that. It really shuts him up. The third thing is financial situations and that's very complicated. Some of the future videos that I might make are dealing more with financial situations than anything. One thing that I just looked at is how does Social Security calculate your average wage that they put into Social Security to calculate your check. And I did learn something that I didn't know before. I'd always wondered about, but that might be the first video that I make, if I do these videos on retirement. The fourth thing that I thought of is, do you like your job? I mean, some people absolutely detest their job, which I feel sorry for them. You know, in my situation, I have liked every single job I've ever had. Even mucking out a chicken house, which I did as a teenager, baling hay, mowing grass, working in a textile mill, and I'm just naming different jobs I had as I grew older. But in high school, I worked second shift working in a textile mill in a bleaching department, and then later on in a printing department. Then my jobs in forestry. They all haven't been fun all the time, but I've really enjoyed every job I've ever had, just my personality, and I enjoy my job right now. But if you don't like your job, I could see where you would want to retire earlier, or at least change. And then the next one is sort of a hard one to describe, but it's the fifth one is, do you have a bucket list? Are there things that you specifically want to do? That might be traveling for some people. It might be a second job. It might be a starting your own business. It might be YouTube for some people. I wish it was YouTube for me. I enjoy making videos, but really I could see continuing doing that as a hobby, whether it made money or not. But the bottom line is, some people have a plan, and I've noticed if they have a plan, they tend to retire earlier and then jump into that plan, whatever it is. Usually for most people, it's starting a second job. And to be honest, I don't have a plan, and that's one thing that has stopped me from going ahead and retiring. I don't really have a plan for what else I want to do. So those are some ideas. Those are 5 ideas that I would take into account. If you've retired or you're nearing retirement, what are some other things that I didn't mention here that you're factoring in, or that you did factor in when you decided to retire? The other question I have for you is, would you be interested in videos on this topic? You know, I think they would be interesting. I wouldn't focus on this. It would just be an occasional video, sort of like I do with other things. I try to just mix them up. I did think about starting a separate channel just based on retirement, because I've noticed there's a lot of videos out there about financial topics related to retirement and just retirement in general. But I don't think I'll do that, because I don't have that much content right now that comes to mind, and I'll just probably work them in if you're interested in it. I look forward to hearing from you on this topic. It's something that's of interest to me. Shout out, make comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Y'all take care.